beautiful distillery. This is the country, man, out in horse country in Kentucky. A little bit, just a stone's throw, really, from Lexington. But I told you we'd have some listeners that would come by and say, I just met Jim, who's from Wheaton, and came by and he said hi. He lives down here now, just outside of Lexington. We had our guy with our JD shirt was here a little earlier.
Yeah, he went up to the visitor center.
He went to the visitor center, grabbed some cocktails.
He's going to get his double-doubles.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you can only get the double-double down here in here at the distillery. You can't get that outside of Kentucky.
That's right. You remember that.
Double-double's awfully good. So we're having a blast down here. We got some local Chicagoans who have transplanted out this way and living here now that stopped by to say hi.
So this is a great place for Italian beef here.
Yeah, he said it's called South of Wrigley.
South of Wrigley in Lexington.
Find great Italian beef even in Lexington.
You believe that? Well, all you got to do is have a Chicagoan that's transplanted.
That's all you got.
That's
all you
motivated.
Need. That's it.
Wants the taste of Italian beef and jardiniere on his lips.
100%. Who doesn't want the taste of Italian beef and jardiniere?
You got to do something with the horses that don't run well.
I'm going to be, you know what, Adam?
Whoa. I mean, that is a wow.
What?
Wow.
And with that.
Listen, my friend.
What?
With that.
I know they eat horses in France, but I don't think they do it down here in Kentucky, my friend.
That's just disgusting. All right, let's do the lunch rush. Speaking of beef
let's
and
Abdallah
jardiniere.
talk more, huh?
Abdallah, what do we got cooking for the lunch rush today?
I don't know how much you guys have talked about. I don't think at all, but Jared Goff is the latest quarterback to get cash.
We saw that yesterday.
We do need to discuss that. I'm glad you brought that up because that happened yesterday. We were off the air already when that happened.
$170 million guaranteed for 4 years, a 4-year extension for $170 million guaranteed. He is the second total average, because it's technically like 52 million, 53 million. He's second just behind Joe Burrow in full value.
You know, I will just say this. The Lions, this is what happens to teams in the NFL. To term it as being stuck might be an inappropriate way to term it. I guess I don't know a more eloquent way. He's obviously good. He's not great. He just isn't. Wow. But are they really going to do better anywhere else they turn while they're in this window? They locked up Penei Sewell. They locked up Amon-Ra. They've loaded up on their defense again. They're trying to win. Are they going to do better at that position anywhere else? Probably not. So they're kind of stuck a little, and it means this is the price of poker in the NFL when you've got a quarterback.
The devil they know is better than the devil they don't know. So they know exactly what he is, what his bad habits are, what his good habits are, what he does well, what he doesn't well. They know that. And you know what they've said? It's worth it. We don't have to do what the Bears are doing, trying to find a quarterback, and they've wasted two first-round picks on quarterbacks already. They used a third first-round pick on the quarterback they got now. They hope they hit it right.
Right.
So they at least got that. But because they did it now, with years still remaining on this contract, with the money that went up front, is still then averaged over this year, the contract, and it's probably somewhat palatable up until that final year where it becomes real expensive, and then they've got to make a decision on the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you remember, you can get out of any contract.
Yes,
you talked about it.
Anyone.
But, again, I think it was a trade that worked out for both teams. They
Yes.
got Matt Stafford. They won themselves a Super Bowl. These guys got all the picks, and they got Jared Goff, which is more than a serviceable quarterback. You'd agree with that?
I would agree with that.
More than serviceable. Not a superstar,
no,
but more than serviceable. I think it's worked out for them.
They made a conference title game,
Lions,
and their idea is to make another one here.
And I think it's worked out for the LA Rams.
Yeah, it certainly did for them. So, I guess it's just the price of business. It's the cost, of doing business when you have a quarterback that is, even if he's not great. Look, ideally, you'd like to run into Burrow, Mahomes. I love Justin Herbert a lot, but he's not necessarily in that category because he hasn't won enough. Allen,
Goff is
Lamar,
Goff is a tier 3 quarterback.
Absolutely,
he's not the superstar.
Absolutely.
He's not the solid group that's right behind him, but he's in that group afterwards.
But you have to pay him $50 million. That's the cost
the price of poker.
Of business in the NFL.
That is the price of poker.
Hopefully when the Bears go down this path in a few years, Caleb's a superstar, and it's not a problem. You're like, you know what?
5 years from now.
He's Burrow, he's Allen, he's Mahomes,
Yep.
he's Lamar. We don't mind paying him $50 million. It can be a little tough to stomach when your guy is not those guys, but they don't have a better alternative at this point. So I guess I see why they did it, and they're going to try to win. They've loaded up on that offense. Again, they've extended all of them, right? The ones that were most important, they've got extensions done now. For Amon-Ra, for Penei Sewell, and for Jared Goff. I believe all three have recently been extended, and in their minds, that's going to get them through this championship window that they feel like they're in. What else, Adam?
I fight back a little bit on tier 3 quarterback for Jared Goff.
Is he borderline
is he
tier 2?
4? Is he
Well,
tier
listen,
4?
he's been top 5 in yards and touchdowns the last 2 years. He's been top 10 in quarterback rating the last 2 years.
Is he
is
he the back end of tier 2?
He's a top 15 quarterback in the league.
Well, then that's tier 3.
So I would say he's close to top 10.
Then he's still tier 3.
No, that's tier 2.
No, it's tier 3. One quarterback is available at tier 1. His name's Patrick Mahomes. Every other quarterback is in tier 2 that you would consider close to being.
Then don't put Mahomes in tier 1.
Then he's in tier 3.
Take Mahomes out of it. Put Mahomes as his own.
Special.
No.
He's his own.
Yeah,
Mahomes
he's his
is
own.
the tier. He's the
All right,
tier.
we're probably nitpicking a little. Adam, I would agree with your assessment. Off the top of my head, he's probably somewhere around 12th, would be my guess.
I put him anywhere from 9 to 12.
Yeah.
That doesn't
And does
bother
that make
me.
you
Put him
tier
anywhere
3?
from 9 to 12, whatever your opinion is on him.
Yeah.
Tier 3.
Yeah. All right, what else, Adam?
All right. Bill Barnwell wrote today on ESPN.com post NFL draft trade signings that should happen. And he said for the Bears that they should sign edge rusher Emmanuel Ogbah. Emmanuel Ogbah last year for the Dolphins played in 15 games, had 5 sacks, 20 total tackles. He said that he would take a flyer on him for around $2 million, would be a good deal for GM Ryan Poles.
That's how they're filling out the roster at this point, right, guys? A move like that is exactly what it's going to be. Maybe Ngakoue can still somehow factor in their plans. I don't know. Ogbah would be a cheaper alternative that could give you the exact amount of production. That's how you fill out the roster now. It's mid-May, guys. This is it. And so you're beyond your wave. You're beyond your most important waves of free agency. You're beyond the draft. You're beyond and so that's exactly how you're going to fill out the roster with little moves like that. And Barnwell does a good job of going inside the numbers and getting an analytic look at things too. And if there are certain metrics that say this would be valuable at $2 million, I'll buy it. That's exactly how you're going to have to find production opposite of. Well, there are 2 ways. Production opposite of Montez Sweat. What you just suggested about a free agent or a player like Austin Booker firing a kid you drafted.
Right.
That's where your production's going to come from at this point.
And he had 2 9-sack seasons.
Yeah.
When he was 27 and 28, he's 30
I
now.
was going to say, how old's Ogbah?
Yeah, listen, for $2 million, you bring him into camp. If you like him, you keep him. If you don't like him, you tell him to move.
This is how you fill out the roster now.
That's exactly it.
I like it. All right, what else, Adam?
Finally, a story out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but
I've never heard of Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Green Bay, Wisconsin. Not football. We're talking college basketball.
Oh, I saw this story.
Green
I know
Bay
what you're
is
talking
expected
about.
to hire sports media personality Doug Gottlieb
Hide
as
the
its
credit
next
cards.
men's basketball coach, and it is reported that he will continue to do his radio show
What?
while coaching.
Yeah,
All right, a couple things. University of Wisconsin, Green Bay is doing this?
UWGB, yes.
Okay, Doug Gottlieb was a collegiate basketball player.
Notre Dame.
Division I college basketball player.
At Notre Dame.
Jurko took a little shot at him.
And credit
There was
cards.
a problem with some credit cards. But he was a Division I college basketball player, so he's, in a sense, I would say, okay, I understand why he's got the expertise or the chops to at least coach college basketball. He did play Division I college basketball. Seems bizarre that he'd be allowed to be in that position and still do a talk radio show, doesn't it?
Unless they don't want to pay you. Unless they brought you in, they said, this is the salary that we have for you at UWGB, and this is what we have for your assistants. And you say, well, listen, that's great. If I accept the job, I still want to be able to do my radio gig.
Has he ever coached anywhere?
And
He
I don't know what his.
interviewed-
By the way, I don't know what his radio gig is.
I
now.
didn't even know he was
Is
still
it
on the
only
radio.
a podcast?
I
Can he do the
honestly-
podcast?
No, he's on a radio show.
He's on
hosts
Fox Sports.
Yeah, he's on Fox Sports Radio.
I did not know that.
There you
so
go.
he interviewed for the Oklahoma State job where he played.
He played
Yeah.
He played there. Yeah, he played for Eddie Sutton, didn't he? Am I wrong?
Yeah,
Didn't he play
you're
yeah,
right.
that's right. Thank you, Chris. He played it for Eddie Sutton. I mean, I don't know. Just because you played college basketball doesn't necessarily mean you can coach it. Like again, I think he's got a background where he obviously could. He hasn't been coaching though, and it's a weird transition to make after he's been in the media for so long. But okay, that's I don't know what Green Bay's going for.
It's a long way away from Dick Bennett when they used to have him back in the day.
Oh, you're not kidding. All right, Adam. Anything else?
That's a